Every woman carries light within herself. But beside this light, there is a depth, a place where even the bravest rarely look. It is not evil, not weakness, and not a flaw. It is that dark part of the soul which God hides from the world, so that one day He may reveal it as a source of strength. Today we will talk about what happens to a woman when God brings her into a season where shadows become her teachers and pain becomes the doorway to a new life.
When the noise goes away, people often perceive it as a break. The phone is silent, friends call less often, life paths that once seemed solid suddenly begin to carefully erase themselves. In such moments, a woman feels as if the ground is slipping from under her feet. But this is not the end of the road. It is the beginning of a space where God can act in a new way. The silence here is not empty. It is dense, like fabric ready to receive new embroidery. In this soft shadow, one hears not only the echo of losses, one also hears another whisper, thin but persistent, like the breath of wind before dawn. It is not the voice of the crowd, not advice, not the expectations of others. It is the voice that calls by name. And in this first silence, that very place is formed, the one people call the dark side, but which God names the sacred depth.
Inside every woman, there are voices, not the words of strangers on the street, but those that live in the weaving of memories. You must. You're not enough. You will lose. Over the years, they form invisible crutches on which life leans. God sometimes allows these crutches to collapse, not to punish, but to set free. When familiar support disappears, the voices drowned out by the rush rise to the surface again. It may seem dangerous to listen to them, but it is precisely listening that allows her to see that these voices are not final truths. They are wounds that require healing. God does not want them to govern the woman of His heart. He invites her to meet these voices under His attentive gaze so that they stop directing her life.
The hidden side of a woman includes not only sorrow and vulnerability, but also rage. Not blind, not destructive, but righteous. It is the kind of energy God can ignite for the protection of what is sacred. It does not scream over trivial matters. It is carefully kept until the right moment comes. When a threat arrives, when the darkness around her loved ones becomes too strong, when the lie becomes too obvious, when danger comes too close, this hidden rage rises like a guardian. It protects the home, the honor, the faith, the borders of the soul. God hides it not because He fears destruction, but because He knows this power has a sacred purpose. The crowd must not have access to it. It must ripen in silence so that a careless use does not scorch what it was meant to save.
The season of silence is often called a desert, not because there is no life there, but because in the desert, a person has no more decorations and distracting sounds. The desert exposes. There, women meet the true measure of their faith and the things that hold their inner being in tension. The pull toward control, the fear of admitting their exhaustion, the desire to earn love. God allows the desert as a school. There, prayer stops being a routine and becomes breath. There, scripture stops being a text and becomes the bread on which she lives. There, she learns to pray not according to a schedule, but according to need. Learns to kneel not for show, but in absence and longing. And in this school, the inner stability is formed that cannot be bought with subscriptions to approval. A woman's tears are not weakness as the world teaches. They are a language that does not lie. Through tears, God hears those depths that cannot be carried by loud words. Crying releases what was blocked, and like rain,
allows the seed of heavenly revelation to awaken. There are prayers that are born only in a broken heart. There are revelations that come only in the space between an inhale and an exhale in the night. God does not disregard these prayers. He receives them and answers with those gifts that He will not give in front of people, but will give in the silence. A name, a new direction, a calling that does not break under the pressure of opinions.
Pain is a tool of God, like a whetstone for an ancient sword. It is not created to destroy, it shapes form. In the fire of destiny, the unnecessary is removed. Pride, dependence on opinions, attachments that pull a person like a tethered net. Every strike of pain is like a sculptor's blow to stone, slow, patient, allowing the true figure to emerge. A woman who has passed through purification does not become less, she becomes more. Her heart gains new dimensions of compassion. Her mind, new horizons of understanding. Her spirit, a firmer resolve to serve not herself, but the one who gave her the path. The dark side, endured and sanctified, ceases to be shame and becomes a source of service.
There is a faith of beautiful speech, and there is a faith that has been tested by sleepless nights. Faith that has passed through loneliness does not depend on backstage scenery or decorations. It makes a person unmoving in the storm, because its support is not external success, but the experience of encountering God in the desert. This faith is not an emotion, it is a choice. When the eyes see no way out, the heart leaves the decision to God. A woman with such faith is dangerous to darkness. She no longer has any lever that can be used to shake her. Her songs are not for the crowd. They cannot be muffled by stones of doubt. They are the room-quiet whisper at the knees that changes history.
Many blessings cannot be carried in the noise. They are too fragile to be put on display, too holy to become a topic of discussion. God hides them in a secret place. There, miracles grow. There, callings are formed. This is not a delay. This is maturation. He protects a woman from the premature revealing of those strengths that could be crippled by human attention. God knows the value of her depth and therefore shields her under the covering of secrecy until the hour when the world will see her in a new fullness.
When the time of maturation passes, God removes the covering. The woman steps out, not without scars, but with a face where both the shadow of what she has lived through and the light of victory merge. Her walk is calm, her word is quiet, but every such word carries a different weight. It was gained at the price paid with tears and prayers. The world sees a smile and thinks, she is strong, but God knows deeper. This is the strength He formed in the night, the sacred fury He kept in reserve. Now, she is both gentle and firm at the same time, both wounded and healing, both vulnerable and unshakable.
If you hear this text and it reflects your inner experience, know this is not a coincidence. Your dark side is not something to hide. It is what God uses. It is a place where compassion is born, where courage is formed, where a calling is laid. You are not late. You are not lost. You are in process. You are in His hands. And one day, you will say with gratitude, my darkness was not my enemy. It was the place where God molded my strength and gave me a name. And then your voice will no longer be empty with sorrow. It will be a window into the lives of others, a testimony of how God protects, heals, and reveals those depths that a person did not dare to show. And remember, not everyone is given to see this depth. Not everyone and not now, but it is in you. And when the time comes, the world will know its power.